Hello, my friends. Long time no see. How are you? Welcome to episode 142 of Why Did I Buy This? So, this series started as a way to help crafters find unique ways to use the products that are in their collections. But it's also a great series for new crafters who are wondering what they need to get started. My name is Lindsay. I am the team leader of Cloud9 Stampers, and I love to craft and I love to share them with you. So, I've been on a bit of a hiatus. Summer, I got to go to New Zealand for a couple of weeks and travel around with our daughter, our oldest daughter, who's been living there for the last 5 months going to school. And then we said bye to her and she went to Australia and we came home. So anyway, it's been a really busy but fun several weeks. And I took a few weeks off. So thank you for being excited for us to be back. We've got some fun projects to work on today. I'm going to show you what I've been working on in my studio. And if you would like to place an order, I have a summer promotion on. If your order reaches $35, you're going to receive by the end of the month a mini maker kit. And in that kit is going to include some little bits and pieces of things, some ribbons, some embellishments, some die cuts, just things that I've got that you could really work to compile and add to your project. So it'll be a fun little grab bag, which is always awesome. And then if your order reaches $100, you're going to receive a full embellishment pack in the mail as well. So something to look forward to. Now, I really appreciate when people share this video. So now's a good time to go ahead and hit share, and then your friends can watch live with you. Today we're going to be playing with something that gets overlooked in the catalog. So I hope you'll be excited to see it. Say hi when you tune in. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're watching the replay, you can let me know that too. I'm here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. It's a beautiful day today. And it's a beautiful day to be crafting with you. So let me just delay no longer. I'm going to do the awkward transition so you can see my hands and we will get started. Okay, so let me get my light turned on and clipped in. Hello, Shauna. Hello, Betty from Massachusetts. Good to see you guys. Okay, so here I am on the Fabulous Finish pages. So this is page 144 of the catalog. And the thing that we're going to be playing with today is the 2023 to 25 In Color Jute Trim. So it comes in the 5 new in colors. Those include Boho Blue, Copper Clay, Moody Mauve, Pebbled Path, and Wild Wheat. And Pebbled Path may just be my favorite in color that has ever come out. So it comes in a little bag like this, and all of these rolls come together as a set, and it is only $11 Canadian. So they're really, really affordable. So the thing that's cool about jute is it's kind of a rustic feeling twine. It's really good for wrapping gifts. So say you were wanting to wrap around a present, mini glue dots being the present, you could just wrap it around, tie a bow. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy, but it also, because it's nice and thick and it's got all of those great threads, it adds some really nice texture to your projects. So let me show you a few and a couple of different ways to be able to use the jute trim. So the first thing we're going to do is work with a piece of, I've got some pre-cut supplies here, but I'm just going to bring in some 100 fluid watercolor paper. And we're going to start with the Lost Lagoon ink refill. I love this color. It pairs very nicely with Pool Party, which makes me happy. We're going to add a little bit of ink refill to our clear block like a palette. And I'm just going to bring in my water painters. So they come as a set of 3. And I really love this nice wide brush one. So we're going to start by just squeezing until some water comes out. And we're going to add water over the whole background. You can see I was using this color before. Didn't clean it all that properly, but that's okay. And then we're going to make a little palette here and start at the top and just let that sort of work its way down. Just like that. Make sure the edges are filled. Okay, and then if you want to go stronger with your ink at the top, you can add some more there, and you can even add a little bit of, if you want to have like some spread details kind of working up from the top. There we go. Just like that. Now you can set that aside to dry, or if you're impatient like me, you can also use your heat tool to dry it. So we're going to use that to just speed it up. It doesn't have as much time to blend if you do speed up the heat drying, but that's okay. You'll see that this is just a background for what we're going to be assembling today. Now, if you'd like to place an order, here is my host code for July. So you'll want to go to my online store, which is just lindsay.stampinup.net, spelled Lynsay, and you'll be able to place that order. Now, here we've got our little background piece. So next, we're going to bring in some of the glitter paper. So this is Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock, I believe. And I'll use my Stampin' Dimensionals to add those to my project. So those are going to go here. And this one is going to tuck in behind. Like that. Okay. And we're also going to do a bit of stamping on our background here. I put those in place so that I could see what I needed, but I'm going to grab, where did it go? I need my Lost Lagoon. Where did it go? I put it back. What a silly girl. I put it back. So we're just going to go ahead and stamp the waves. And these waves come from the On the Ocean stamp set. So it's kind of like that pirate looking one. And we are also going to bring in the pirate ship. And here's my beautiful pebbled path. So this is that in color I was telling you about. So I will just, on a piece of basic white, stamp that like so. Now the stamp set does have coordinating dies. The dies are called On the Ocean as well. And you can buy these together as a bundle for 10% off. So from this, I cut out this pirate ship. Here you can see when it's dry, it's just a little bit softer than when it's wet. So we've got the pirate ship, and then I also used the waves to cut out the little waves in both white, and then I used the solid ones to cut out the glitter ones. Okay, so let's go ahead and add this to our paper. I'll bring in the card front and we'll start to assemble this. So Stampin' Seal Plus, I've recently fallen in love with this, and some of you are groaning right now, but that's okay. It works really, really well for those heavier pieces like this watercolor paper. And we're going to just stick that in the center. Then I'm going to use my all-purpose glue, and I'm going to add my waves to it. So I'm just adding a little bit of some dollops of glue along here, trying not to be over ambitious so that it squishes, right? We want to kind of keep it to the back of the paper we're trying to adhere. So I think that should be enough. I've cut longer than I need. So this, we're going to stick it over top of where we've stamped. Just like that. Good. Give that a press. And then I'll use my snips to just cut off the excess. And then we'll use the glitter waves, and we're going to add that on top. So I'm going to use my multi-purpose adhesive for that too. So we'll just stick that over top like so. And trim that off. Just like that. Okay, so now we can bring in our little pirate ship, and we're just going to kind of tuck it into the waves like that. And I will use my dimensionals to hold it on. A couple of reasons. The dimensionals stick better to the glitter paper than our regular adhesive, and it also just helps to give it that dimension. So we're going to tuck it in just like that. Now, here is where the jute comes into play. So I'm going to bring in an oldie but a goodie, and that is my 1/8 inch hole punch. And I'm going to punch a hole, and where the hole sits is going to be where my knot is. I'm going to teach you, if you haven't seen this before, your mind's about to be blown, so prepare. This is called a one-hole bow. So I learned this a long time ago from my pal Penny from Arizona, and this was a game changer. So you're going to pull out enough thread to just be able to work with tying a knot, and then you're going to, from the back, wrap your jute around your card, and I want to do it twice just to give that extra texture. And then from the back of the card, we're going to cut enough so that we can pull it through. So from the back, we're just going to slide everything kind of out of the way. From the back, we're going to push that through. So now we have the ability to just self-tighten and tie a knot. So this is what it looks like at the back. And here you can see it at the front. So now we're going to just trim those off and kind of roll it between your thumbs so that it looks more like rope, you know, like nautical feeling kind of stuff. So skip ahead to the finished card, and here you can see we've added the happy birthday and some of the birds flying about, and here you can see is that jute and the rest of the card. So that's number one. So you can use it for things like the one-hole bow. Yeah, brilliant, right? Okay, we're going to move on to the next project. So this time we're going to bring in all 5 colors of the jute. So all of our in colors are here. And I'm going to bring in a piece of Whisper White base. And I'm going to start with my, my Moody Mauve. So I'm going to use the base of the card. So this is cut 3x4. So I'm going to use it to just get a little bit extra and use my scissors to trim that. And then I'm going to kind of create a knot in the middle of the jute. So I'm just folding it, pinching it, and I'm going to wrap it around and feed the knot through. And we want the knot to sit as close to the loop as possible. So you can see there's the loop. So we're just going to kind of pull it to the top at the same time that we're pulling it tight. So then you get that look. Okay. Now, I'm sure there's fancy ways to attach it, but I am not a fancy person, and I also don't like to fuss with things. So I'm just going to use a piece of tape. You can see the jute is quite hairy. For once, it's not dog hair in my life. So we're just going to bring this and wrap it around the back, and we'll stick that on like so, and then use a piece of tape and wrap that around here again. So then you get that look. Now I'll show you one more time. So here we've got this one is called Copper Clay. The names are still pretty new to me, so I had to look. Okay, so just a little bit longer. This time we're going to tie a knot over on the other side. So pinching it, threading it through the loop, just like that, and pulling it tight. So now you've got this little knot that's going to sit here, and flip it over. Cheater tape. Nobody's going to know. Are you going to tell them? No. Good. My secret is safe. Okay, we're going to wrap this around. So you've got that. So you're going to keep going with all of the colors until you get all the way down. Now, I'm just going to skip ahead to some of the other parts. So this time I'm using this stamp set, Crafting with You. So this one came out in our annual catalog. And I just felt like this felt so reminiscent of wool or yarn. So we're going to be playing with this image right here. Before we get to that, there's this cute little heart in that stamp set. So we're going to just help coordinate the colors, and this is one of the things that's so fun about Stampin' Up, is the colors are intended to coordinate. So you can use those colors to have matchy-matchy with your ink, right? So again, now we're going to bring in the yarn, and I'll bring in Moody Mauve. That one's a tongue twister for me. Moody Mauve again. So this time we're gonna stamp our yarn. And I wanted to kind of fill in the white space. So I will use a blender pen. And while the ink is still relatively wet, if you go over top of the image, it'll help to give you a subtle coloring in the background. See, isn't that great? Just like that. And now you're going to cut it out with the coordinating dies. Same name, Crafting with You. And it gives you all of these great little pieces. And we're also going to cut out the basket from the pebbled path. So here you can see is our yarn, and here you can see is our basket. So I will bring in a mini blending brush and my pebbled path. And I want to just add a little bit of color to the basket. So we're gonna go all the way around, and this will help the texture from the die show up. Can you see that? And then the other thing that I did was I wanted to bring in one of our new markers. So I'm not sure if you know this, but our markers have had a bit of a configuration change. The first thing is the barrel is longer. So I'm assuming that means that there's more ink inside. The marker end is stiffer, so it's easier to color with, and I'm going to assume that that's going to give us more longevity with the tip. But what I love the most is this is the pen end of the marker, and this is all pen. So there's no more of that plastic tip to it. And I'm going to use it to add, this is just where the texture is in the die, and we're just adding a little bit so that we can see that a little more clearly, and it just helps it to have a bit more depth. So we are making our little basket look like that. So loving the new change to the markers. So again, you're going to add some adhesive to the back of the basket, and then you can tuck it inside our little yarn so it looks like that. Okay, I will now skip to the end and show you where we're going with this. So here we have all 5 colors of the jute. And here you can see are the coordinating inks that have stamped the hearts. And when you open it up, it says, sending you a handmade hug with love. Oh, Betty, I think you just missed me. That's why they all seem like PYP. But I really appreciate that. They're fun, hey? Also, I've missed crafting. You know, when you're traveling, I don't get to craft very much. So it's been fun to get back in here and creating. Okay, yes, so there you can see it's really showing off these beautiful fibers. Okay, we're gonna move on to the PYP, the official PYP, but hey, I'll go with if you wanna leave these as all PYP. So this one here is fun. We are going to bring in some Designer Series paper. So we actually have a couple pieces of Designer Series paper. The first one is this one, and it's called Fresh as a Daisy. So the daisy paper is really, really pretty, and this is the one that I've cut the piece from. It has a really fun piece that you can cut into card fronts. So I watched a video that Sarah Douglas did the other day, and it showed how to cut this. So you start by cutting it here, and then you can cut it here, and then you can cut it here, and then you can easily reach all of the bits and pieces. So you can see we've got lots of beautiful images and textures that you can play with, really showcasing those new colors that we're new to our new catalog. Look at this, hey? This is the wheat one. Here you've got the daisies, and you can see the copper clay. And there we have boho blue. So lots of in colors in this collection. Okay, so I cut out this one though. So this is my pebbled path, my beloved pebble path. And again, it's already got some texture built into it, but I'm going to bring in this stamp set called Sending Smiles. This is a carryover in our annual catalog, and I'm going to use this one. We're also going to be using a greeting from it. So I just need my pebbled path, and we will stamp some flowers. So I recommend when you're adding texture to something that you want to stamp off the page, and it helps you to look like you've got the image cut from a bigger piece of cardstock. Now I'm going to bring back in that fabulous marker, the Stampin' Write marker, and I'm going to use that pen end again. I've never reached for the pen end so much as when we've got this new configuration now. And I'm just adding more texture to the background. So just these little dots. Again, it's just making the designer series paper my own, right? Okay, that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to bring in my Pebbled Path jute. I can already tell I'm gonna run into this one first. And we are going to do some ribbon dissecting. So if you have watched my videos in the past, you know this is a favorite thing that I like to do when we've got ribbon in a card. So I've cut enough just to go past the edges of the card designer series paper. So this is 5.5 by 2 inches. So I'm going to start by working at the end of my jute. And I'm going to grab hold of one of the 3 fibers. You can see there's 3 that are woven together, and just kind of keep working them open. And now we're going to just keep twisting until we can pull it out. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. So this just makes your fibers go a little bit further, and it also gives it a completely different look. So I'm going to use my handy dandy tape again. You guys aren't judging, right? No, you're with me. Okay, and we're going to flip over my designer series paper. Get all 3 pieces in there, just like that. And I need to just trim off. I got a little overzealous. Okay, get rid of that. And then wrap this around. If you've got a Rapunzel card, hey, you can bring in the wheat one, right? Okay, and then we're gonna wrap that around once again. Shh. Okay. Just like that. So now we have that fun texture along the bottom of our designer series paper. So now I'm going to bring in my second piece of DSP, and that is from the Zany Zoo collection. These guys are just so cute. You can see some of them coordinate with dies, and then some of them you need to fussy cut. So we're going to bring in the bear who's reading, and I've already done the fussy cutting just so that you don't have to watch me do that, because you guys know how to do that. So I just use my scissors. And then we're going to bring in my Pebbled Path Stampin' Blends. I'm just going to use my light color though. And, oh, before I do that, I'm going to use my SU 700, and I'm going to give my bear cheeks, and I'm also going to color the inside of the bear's ears. And then I'm going to do some coloring and make my bear coordinate with my DSP. Now, because this isn't our standard basic white cardstock, which is what we recommend for coloring, I'm a little careful about going up to the edge of things, just so that if it's going to bleed, I don't have that bleeding into places that I don't want it to. So you can see I'm being kind of careful, and I'll let it sort of have its second to just see what it's going to do. Then I bring in the pen end, and I'm just going to use that to kind of fill in the gaps. Okay. just like that. So cute. I love this paper. Love this paper. All right, so now we're going to add this to our little place here. I need my dimensionals back. So we're going to stick him or her here. And that's going to sit just like that. So I like the idea of this being sort of the textured pieces, right? Like it kind of looks like rug, or, you know, it just adds a little bit of interesting detail. So let me skip ahead and I'll show you the finished card. There you go. Isn't that cute? So just a card to say hello from that same Sending Smiles stamp set. There you can see all of the details I've added in the background. Here's our little jute, and that's the PYP. Okay, so we've got that card. We have our little naughty card, not in the sense of my Valentine's classes, something else. And then of course we've got just adding it straight to the bottom of the project. So if you're thinking to yourself, Lindsay, why don't I have these products? Head to my online store and you can shop away, use the host code. Any orders over $35 are going to receive a mini maker's kit. Very cute, very special, just for summer. And then if your order reaches 100, you're also going to receive a full set of embellishments in the mail from me. It's just a little extra thank you for ordering from me. Now, if you're interested in becoming a demonstrator, I have some really great news. We are hosting a demonstrator-only event just for my team on September 23rd, and the CEO of Stampin' Up! Is coming, Sarah Douglas. It's going to be a great day. You must be a demonstrator to attend. So if you join my team now, you will get the opportunity to attend that. The tickets are selling quickly, so choose to do that sooner than later, because I'm sure it will sell out. Okay, friends, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me through Messenger. And if not, have an amazing weekend. I hope to craft with you soon. Bye for now.